In this video, we're going to be unboxing and installing what has now become the most affordable PS5 SSD upgrade, the Samsung 980 Pro with a built-in heatsink. It looks like Samsung has finally decided to lower the price of what used to be one of the most expensive PS5 compatible M.2 SSDs on the market. In fact, at the time when I originally purchased my first 980 Pro, I ended up spending over $200 on just the SSD alone. And that price was not even including a heatsink. But I'm happy to report that since then, those prices have significantly dropped and you can now pick up a 1TB 980 Pro with a heatsink for literally half the price of what I paid just last year. I was able to get this bundle on sale at just $120, which at this price point pretty much changes everything for all those users who previously thought PS5 M.2 SSDs were still too expensive. And by no means is this a low performing SSD. You're still getting the exact same speeds as the more expensive FireCuda 530, the WD Black SN850, and even the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus. And as someone who's purchased and tested every single one of these SSDs, I can honestly say that when it comes to the PS5, you're really not going to notice any significant difference by choosing one over the other. So I honestly recommend just finding the overall best price, and regardless of which one you pick, you're definitely going to enjoy that additional boost in storage space. Now, one thing that I do like about the new Samsung 980 Pro is that it now comes with the heatsink pre-installed to the SSD, whereas before you would end up having to purchase one separately, which can make the overall installation a bit more complicated. But either way, the process of installing an M.2 SSD for your PS5 is pretty straightforward, and it only requires a Phillips head screwdriver along with a little bit of hand strength. You just need to lift up and slide down to remove the side plate from your PS5 and locate the SSD expansion bay terminal where the Samsung 980 Pro will be getting installed. Then use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the expansion slot cover as well as the mounting screw and the spacer. Then we're going to set the spacer to the correct size of the Samsung 980 Pro and carefully install the SSD into the terminal. You always want to make sure that the SSD is parallel to the connection terminal and touching the spacer before screwing it down. Lastly, we're going to reattach the expansion slot cover as well as the side plate in the stand. And at this point, you can go ahead and reconnect your PS5 and power on the system to begin the initial setup for your newly installed Samsung 980 Pro M.2 SSD. Hopefully you found this video useful or at least interesting, and if you did, make sure to leave a like rating, comment below to let me know what you think, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for post notifications. I'll see you guys.